you and I are going to run now a reverse backseat coaching. So normally I record videos where I backseat a student in an unrated game and we
Yeah.
figure out the flaws of their thinking and what should be done instead. What
I'm
we're
not
going
going to
to
be able to figure out the flaws in your thinking.
Oh, I would be more than happy to if you did. But I just thought now about this and I thought we'll give it a whirl, provided we actually get a game.
Yeah.
Where what we are going to do is that every single position I want you to come up with a move, but you're not going to tell me that move before I make mine.
Okay.
And then we are going to compare our notes and our ideas.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not
All
gonna
right.
make a move until you come up with your own, but you
Yes.
don't tell me that until I play the move. So you just tell me ready, I then play my move, and then you tell me what you would have done.
Yep.
I think it's quite an exciting story, barring the fact that we might not get a game. Can I actually? I can start a new seek. Maybe 10-10.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 10 should be fine.
No, because then you will feel pressured about time. That's why I went with 15.
No, I'll try 10. Let's see how we go.
No, what I need to change is that I need to make it rated. But because if I'm gonna play out my moves first, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this
Oh, here we
rated or
go.
unrated? It's rated. All right,
So
so I'm gonna
I'm
play.
ready.
No, no. Well, the first few moves I'm gonna play out, and I purposely play an opening that I don't or you don't.
Yeah.
Um, so we are not going to make a fuss about the first few moves.
Okay.
Our opponent is Fizao from India.
From India.
And he's deeply in thought.
Yeah.
We like that. Clearly, I have posed a major theoretical problem here.
Yeah, with knight f3.
The never seen before knight f3 hits hard.
The novelty, that's right.
I mean, I always appreciate when my students put some thought into their opening moves, but maybe on move two is a little bit, bit of an overkill.
Yeah.
I suspect they're going to take this.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he takes it,
No,
oh, okay.
no.
All right.
Okay.
I have a move. Yeah.
Yeah, playing Slav. Quite a cheeky choice against the dude who has a Slav course, but I appreciate that. Oh, right, friend.
Okay, I've got my move.
You are on. You have got your move?
Yep.
Okay. It is going to be a tricky one because unless you know this opening trap, you will never guess this. So
Oh,
that's
it's a trap.
yeah.
Oh,
And your move
I was
was
going to
not
play bishop f4.
right. So bishop f4 here is suboptimal because then he gets to go back into a reverse London.
Okay.
Right, where we are somewhat better, but nothing to write home about. So what do you think is the trap here?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I know what it is.
think it through first. Have you got it?
Oh, actually, maybe I don't.
Okay, think about it. I've got a very annoying move here for white that poses serious problems to black. If you think you have it, let me know. I will play my move, then you can tell me if you thought the same or not.
You're telling me it's a trap.
Don't bother about what I'm saying. Find the best move. preferably today. You can see that this is. I should be not saying anything because as soon as I
Yeah,
say
because now
something like a
I'm.
trap, your brain just shuts down instead of like play the best move, man. Have you got the best move for white here?
Oh, look, I've got a move for
Good.
white.
Okay. Excellent. All right. What was your best move for white?
It was Queen B3.
Right. And why did we take 7 years on it?
Because it didn't seem sort of trappy enough, honestly. I couldn't see an immediate kind of
Okay. So
knockout.
what response do we expect from black here?
Uh, on this level, I expect
No. 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 No.
B6.
I stop that right there. I don't know what their level is. I don't care about what their level is. What
Okay.
is the best move they can play?
Um, well, I was going to say, yeah, either knight C6 or knight BD7.
So you didn't think of Queen B6?
Well, but you don't want to trade that, do you? Because then AB and that
Right.
gives the file for his
So
rook.
this
I
is
don't
where
know.
the trappy part comes in that you didn't apparently know. So Queen B6 is not playable here because of Knight D5. And after Queen takes B3, I take this with a check and I win a pawn.
Uh,
Queen takes B6 is just an outright mistake that a double pawn has no bearing on the position whatsoever. In fact, often the open A file even favors.
yeah, but that's why that's why I didn't want to take on B6. But anyway,
But you just called it. That was your move.
yeah, I was saying that would be a bad.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry,
Anyway,
I
white
wasn't
move.
clear
Have
enough.
you got your white move?
Um, not yet. Um, okay, I've got a move.
What was it?
Wow, I would not have done that.
Okay, what was your move?
Oh, bishop F4.
Alright, so here is what we need to discuss. What on earth is the purpose of Queen B3 if after they leave this hanging you're not taking it?
Oh, because it looks like a poison pawn.
But then what's the point of Queen B3? I'm more than happy to accept your argument that that's a poison pawn. By the way, you can't ever do that without proving that by calculating lines, but let's put that aside now. But then why wouldn't you question the validity of my Queen B3 if the idea is not to take on B7? Also, why did Queen B6 enter the conversation, which is purely to defend B7? Like here we are having tremendous logic flaws because it's okay to go like, oh, B7 shouldn't be captured, it's poison. But then why was I playing Queen B3? And from here on out, you are invited not only to expose or reveal your ideas, but you also need to question mine unless you agree with it. Because now we came across a huge logic flaw. I played Queen B3 and then we're not taking B7. It's like, what the hell was the point then? Excuse my French, right?
Mm.
Okay, let's do this again. I didn't expect my opponent to blunder that, by the way. Alright, I will get you out of comfort zone again by playing some opening that you dislike. Or that is out of your comfort
Yeah.
zone at least. Alright, what move are we expecting from white here? Too late. Okay, your turn. Let me know when you have your move.
Um, yeah, I've got a move.
That's good because I don't.
Oh,
So hold it. Hmm.
Well, this is making me reconsider my move.
Shouldn't. It really shouldn't. I'm tossing up between. Don't speak yet. I'm tossing up between h6 and knight c6 at this point.
Okay. Neither of those were my moves.
h6 bishop f4 knight c6 queen d2 is what causes me a slight headache, and then knight takes d4 was what I wanted to do with an upcoming e5 fork. However, after queen takes back on d4, e5, knight takes e5, de, bishop takes e5, bishop takes queen takes d4, bishop takes d4. Looks very, very equalish. I'm just gonna go knight c6, but this I don't necessarily feel super happy about. What was your move?
C5.
Right, c5 I didn't consider. I should have, and I should have called it out. I thought that after dc, queen a5, takes e7, knight g5, takes e7, rook e8, and
rook
then
e8.
queen d8 because of the bishop is covering there. That looked a bit wild to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm correct. So c5 dc. I'm guessing your idea was queen a5, right?
Yeah.
So
But
cd
he
knight
takes.
e4, takes e7, rook e8, and then queen d8 hits the queen and the rook. And because if I have the bishop on g5, I'm covering d8 twice. That was the relevance of me not liking c5 as a response to bishop g5 because d8 was covered in the end of that line. All right, have you got your response to this?
Yes.
You're not gonna like my move.
Oh God.
Okay, that was
That
mine.
means that. Oh wow.
What was yours?
But you're just going to go d97 and come back.
I don't know that where am I going yet after this, but I'm gonna go somewhere. Where did you want to go?
Oh, I was going to go to c5 or e5 with a knight, but
Right, so I didn't play knight e5 because after knight e de, the position becomes structurally symmetrical and my bishop is completely clogged in.
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. As in, I thought you meant after it went back to b8.
No, I was asking you where you wanted to go rather than b8.
Ah, yeah, either e5. I mean, maybe knight a5 was possible there.
Right, so I didn't go to a5 because then after bishop d3, b4 is constantly in the air trapping the knight. But maybe something like knight a5, bishop back, pawn c5
yeah.
was a playable idea, but I still dislike my knight being a little bit stranded over there. Having said that, I don't really like my position much, so I somewhat regret this whole decision about this early knight c6.
Yeah, okay. I've got to move here. Well, I've got two candidates.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the way I'm playing this game at all. I regret at least one decision. Okay, what was your move?
My candidates were either bishop g4 or c6.
Right, I looked at both, so I'm very much same with you. So bishop g4, I felt like after h3 take, knight d7 with the idea of knight e5, queen g3. And then I really found it difficult to come up with a good idea to challenge the center.
Because queen g3, don't you have knight c4?
Knight c4 is a little bit illegal.
No, isn't the knight on e5?
Wow. Okay, so slow time. He take knight d7, queen g3.
Knight d7, queen g3. Sorry. Okay.
And if knight e5, then I just simply drop the bishop back and I'm threatening f4 dominating the board. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
I did look at c6, but I felt like the whole idea of luring the pawn to d5 was to clock this bishop up. And what am I going to do after c6 as my next move? Because if I take, I just make it even worse, allowing ed and then pressure here.
Yeah.
So I felt like it didn't really add any value to the position. Now,
Would,
I had a follow-up plan to this, which I'm going to reveal to you momentarily.
yeah. Would knight a6 have been a move there?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
What I wanted to do here...
Oh, you're
Oh,
fine.
sorry, I forgot to ask you to think about your move first.
Uh,
Yeah, okay, we skipped that step. Now, this was my plan, but I still don't think I like it. Because after on post on, yeah, I'm not going to tell you what I'm calculating because you need to do that. Yeah, try to think about what they will do and how you will respond to it.
yeah. If en passant.
Can you hear my wife singing Titanic, Celine Dion?
No.
Good.
But now that I know she is.
Now you're intrigued.
That's right. Wow. Right.
I actually expected that.
I did not expect that. I thought he would play en passant, but then I was going to take with the f pawn.
I was going to take back with the bishop. Why would you take with the pawn rather than the bishop?
Because I want to open up the f file for the rook, and then eventually somehow get the queen over to that side. Maybe an exchange sack on f3. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But I
so
preferred the open f file.
I like part of what you're saying, except that unfortunately you're in complete dreamland. So
Sure.
in this position after d fe, we are facing a fully developed army with a half developed army, and even that half that is developed is tragic. So, which is my fault, right?
Yeah,
Because
you
I got
decided to play the Pirc.
Yes, but hear me out. But then you add to this absolutely unrealistic ideas. Like what you
Yeah.
are trying to force into this position is not there at all. Like you lost touch with reality there completely when you are considering the open F file and the potential exchange sack on F3. That's like the untamed beast in you that loves to play attacking chess when you have got zero right to even remotely think about those things. Like, dude,
Yeah.
how, like, on what grounds do you want to attack here? Like, give me one feature of this position that warrants after the FE that we should be thinking of attack. Are we better in central control?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
No. Are
Yeah.
we ahead in development? No. Do we have a target? No. Like, you don't have I can't answer a question to which the answer is going to be a yes. Now, what I want to tell you is not necessarily going to be trumping what you are saying, but I was 100% taking with the bishop, thus eliminating one undeveloped piece for one
Yeah.
that is developed. Two, after the trade, my pawn on e6 is not pinned, not a target. Three, I'm one move away from completing development. And four, after e5, I thought knight g4 might be reasonable because I'm hitting the bishop as well as e5. Although that could work, maybe either case. But there was absolutely not a chance I was going to take that back with the f. Now, have you got your move against this?
Yes.
Good. What was it?
That was going to be the move.
Liar.
No, it actually
I'm
was.
kidding. Yeah, Queen d2 royally messed this up, right? So now I got everything that I wanted, even though I played this opening horrendously, which was a close center, garbage bishop, and now we are even scoring the dark squared bishop. Now, I don't care about, honestly, I don't care about what an engine would say evaluation-wise about this position. I consider black to be better here, and you can't change my mind. Like, not a chance that you could convince me that this is not at least a slightly bit better for black. But I'm not going to tell you the whys, because that would give you ideas as to what we're trying to do in the next few moves, and of course that is going to be your duty to work out. So what you are doing right now is that you are thinking about the most likely move they are going to play. Unless you already have it, in which case you will tell me.
I think they're going to play a rook move.
Are you being vague on purpose?
Yes, because I'm not sure which one.
Then we don't have full information
Maybe
that we can work with.
rook fe1.
Fine.
I think they'll
So
play that.
what are we going to do against it?
Take the bishop.
Okay. Is rook fe1...
I mean, you don't have to take the bishop, right? Because the bishop isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, right. Is there any particular plan you hope to pursue with rook fe1?
Yeah, well, if knight e3, then I would possibly take with the rook.
And can you
swing it across?
Can you explain that to me, please?
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Well, you'd have to do something with a knight, but the eventual idea would be something like rook g3 or...
Can you please further explain to me what you're hoping to accomplish?
A kingside attack.
So what you're telling me here is that white is going to attack us on the king side?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's where our king is.
Okay, so if I could teleport our king here, then you would attack me here, right?
Yes.
But since my king is here, you're going to attack me here. So what that basically
I know what you're doing.
Assumes here is that you have this special right in chess that is only applicable to you, that no matter the features of the position, you get to attack the king no matter where it is. Am I reading this correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, now...
There's a rule without exception.
If we detached ourselves from this royal decree that you got signed by, King Charles, that you get to attack kings all the time, and we actually spoke about chess, what would determine who is playing where here, my friend?
The direction of the pawns. So why...
Why is that? Is that an exclusive rule? Like, pawn direction always determines...
No, but white has a lot more space to attack on the queen side.
That is correct, but I'm insisting on the point, the direction of the pawns. In what scenario does that become the main consideration, or the main determining factor?
I thought it was a general rule that you look at the direction of pawns are facing and you attack there.
Listen to me, you're a good enough player. You will be able to follow me when I play out the following blindfold line, starting from the starting position of chess. Are you with me?
Yep.
D4.
Yep.
Knight f6.
Yep.
E3.
Yep.
White has pawns on f2, e3, d4. So they definitely will have to attack on the queen side. Is this statement correct? Because the pawns are pointing that way.
No.
Why not? That's what you just told me about this position.
Well, but we're not... we're now in a middle game scenario. White's made 2 moves in your example.
Well, but we're talking about pawns. That pawns are pointing.
Yes, but the rule is obviously not that in any situation whatsoever.
Right, so I'm hoping that you would tell me what the rule is, because you are not.
Determines the direction of the attack.
Right. So
I'm saying that in this situation, in a kind of middle game situation, where, like in something like this kind of situation, the direction of the pawns generally tells you where to attack.
Yeah, so
that's all. I'm not saying this is a hard and fast rule without any exceptions whatsoever in any situation in chess or whatever. I'm saying I'm looking at this position, and it looks like we ought to be attacking on the king side because that's the way our pawns are pointing.
Right. And you are right about this, but unfortunately your knowledge here has a gap in it, and I'm going to patch that gap. So the reason why that rule applies here is because the position is closed. And for the love of God, I couldn't squeeze this out of you. It has nothing to do with how developed we are or how deep we are in a middle game or not. It's purely because the position is locked. With other words, the pawn structure is fixed.
Okay.
The example I gave you, d4, knight f6, e3, was not applicable to this concept because the pawns are not fixed. They are flexible. They can move. None of these can move. That is when we apply the concept of which way the pawns are pointing.
Okay. I didn't think I knew. I don't think I actually knew that, as in consciously.
Well, clearly you didn't. Sorry to reinforce that, but that's why I kept on poking and poking, because I wanted to make you say it, but you very clearly were not going there. So I thought, okay, so time to rewire your chess, friend. We just did that in the spirit of one of my latest YouTube videos there.
Yes.
Oh, sheesh. I forgot to ask you what your move was going to be.
I would have played f5.
Actually, I don't think you are wrong there.
Okay.
It's quite likely that f5 was a better move than mine. It is actually quite likely that it was a better move than yours. But I feel like the reason why I played this is because I want to obviously redirect some of my pieces to the battleground where we want to fight.
You want to develop, right?
And they're stuck.
Yeah.
Right? Like they can't do anything meaningful because as per established, they are supposed to play on the queen side. But because of they haven't played c4, which would then allow them to play for b4, c5, I feel like I have all the time in the universe to optimize my piece placement before I go after them with f5. But I think, objectively speaking, f5 may have been better. What move are we expecting out of them?
Knight a4.
Okay, what is your planned move against it?
f5.
All right. Are you suggesting knight a4 because you want to play c4?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's a very logical idea. I think it's a bad move because it abandons the center even more. And also, I think it's way too late to the party. But when I say I think it's a bad move, I'm being very unfair because I really don't know what I would do here with white. I honestly do not know what I would do here with white.
And I don't know, maybe bishop d3 and then knight e2.
They just drop back to e2, so playing bishop d3 now seems a little bit iffy, right?
Yeah.
I was also thinking maybe knight e1, knight d3 route, but that does very little too. You know what? I know what I would do here.
Knight b1 and then just go back to c3 once you played c4.
No, I think knight b1 bleeds out on the same concept as knight a4 did. No, I would play here h3.
Oh, okay, so it forces you to take the bishop and then what?
Exactly. What do you think I would do with white after knight e3?
Queen d3.
Did you say queen d3?
Sorry, queen e3.
Queen or pawn?
Yeah, I thought about pawn.
And why did you call it off?
I think the king is getting a little airy there. But
oh, dude, you have been under my guidance for long enough to not to say such stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean that the king is airy? Yeah, we agreed that we will take this. Right, so I would have taken this back with the pawn. King is being airy, I can't work with that. So tell me what you are hoping to do with the king being airy after fe3.
I mean, forgive me for sounding like a broken record, but f5.
Yeah, but what does f5 have to do with fe3 making the king more airy? Like, do you feel like you have more of an attack after fe3 than you would have after queen e3? Is it what you're suggesting?
Well, I'm suggesting that white has a less sturdy defense, not that I have a better attack.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think white has a stronger defense. So I want you to back it up with either moves or strategies, or like it just hangs in the air and I can't work with that because I don't know what you mean. Because my concept was exactly to take with a pawn to make actually this attack less effective. And I'm very happy to give you reasonings behind that, but this conversation is not about me, it's about you. So I want you to tell me what makes you think that fe makes black's attack stronger. Like, what's your plan after f5 if I say I do nothing. I pass. I play rook a d1.
I'd probably play knight f6.
Okay, I would do that against queen takes back too, so I don't see where the big difference is to your favor.
Well, I mean, after queen e3, white's got 2 pieces defending e4 instead of 1.
I thought you wanted to attack the king, not e4.
Well, but we can attack e4 on the way to attacking the king.
That is
sure.
true. All right, we are going to lose some time if I continue this slightly
Yeah,
philosophical debate.
that's all
The
right.
point of playing with f is that once you play f5, there is a potential for me to start trading pieces on the f file, and I can use the rook as a defender by stepping up to f2. If you play with queen e3, f5, assuming I'm not committed, but potentially, neither of those two things will be able to be played.
Yeah.
My pawn mass and the pawn avalanche that we are both discussing here as Black's #1 plan seems to me far more oppressive and far more potent with the f2 pawn being at home and the f1 rook being completely shut out of any conversation whatsoever.
Mm.
All right, have you got Black's move here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that we are thinking of the same. f5. I was thinking, by the way, of playing knight f6, knight h5, knight f4, but I'm like, nah. Because if I... Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but I have got ideas here. What are we expecting them to do?
Take. I think they will take.
All right, I think so too. What are we taking back with?
The rook.
Explain your rationale behind taking with the rook, please. If you tell me that pawn takes back makes the black king more airy, I'm going to scream.
No. No. Well, taking back with the rook keeps those G and H pawns together, and that means they can advance. I think if I take with the pawn, that just sort of leaves the H pawn kind of nowhere.
Did that make sense to you?
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think that you had your heart in that statement.
No.
Okay, let's go again.
Fine, I'll take with the pawn.
I did not mean to talk you into it. Why are you taking with the pawn? Why not with the rook?
Well, if I take with the pawn, I can now then push f4, which I think is a good move. Or e4. I don't know if f4 or e4 is better.
Is there a downside to taking with the rook?
I mean, not one that I can see immediately.
So you're telling me that you don't realize that if takes rook takes, then we just lost the e4 square forever? Which is a huge outpost for a white knight. And we also invited this diagonal to be quite vulnerable.
Yeah, well, okay.
Right? So e5, rook f5 is a positional blunder. It's completely unplayable here. Because the only thing that we can mess up here is exactly to give white light squared control. Because they have a light squared bishop. And also, if it comes to the e4 square, the knight can jump in. So after rook f5, bishop d3, rook goes, I don't even know where, because g6 is hanging. Knight e4, I prefer white.
Yeah.
After ef, gf, the two pawns staying together, which you wanted here, by the way, for whatever reason, control all of these squares. White has no access to any central squares whatsoever, and I'm floating both pawn pushes, which will be based on which one hurts more. It's unlikely to be f4 first, because again, that surrenders the entire diagonal and the e4 square.
Yeah.
So far more likely I'm going to leave them stationary for the time being, play stuff like queen f6, knight c5, bishop d7, bring the rook in, and then very likely I start with e4 because that allows me to follow up with f4. If you play with f4 first, you never follow with e4. Unfortunately, our opponent blundered a piece, so I'm from here on out, I will only ask for your moves if there's something fancy happening.
Yeah. Oh, that was very instructive.
I know it was. I really like this.
That's
By
how
the way,
that's how I blunder all my games away.
since I hammered you rather badly for the kingside attack shenanigans, you do realize how irrelevant this idea to coming to rook g3 would have been. Like, dude, I am attacking you there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like one of us is very wrong if you want to attack me on the kingside with rook g3 and I'm gearing up for f5. And I don't think I need to tell you whether it's black or white who is doing something wrong and who is doing something very right there.
Yeah.
Given that you were a passionate advocate of f5, at the same time you are coming at me with rook f3, rook e3, rook g3. Yeah, one of them will be just passion, but not a lot behind it.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
The other one will be very passionate and very successful too.
Oh man.
I expect resignation, to be honest. Not because of we are winning, but because of it's such a disheartening thing. Like, they genuinely thought that they had a lot of pressure here, and now just took it out of the sky. Yeah. It's not a good feeling, for sure.
Yeah, these sorts of mistakes, I just make them all the time.
You mean knight h4?
No, not that.
No, I mean that's.
No, I mean the rook f5 type stuff. You know, as in the whole thing that you were saying about bishop d3, like that just didn't occur to me at all when I was looking at it.
Yeah, that's
very embarrassing.
These are the things that, as a coach, I find it very difficult to relate to, because what that tells me is that you're.
Yes, you're a much better player.
No. Hear me out. No. I didn't mean to sound it in a condescending tone. On the contrary, it was more of a cry for help. But after like ef rook f5, if you don't see bishop d3. What that tells me is that you're staring at the position without thinking in terms of moves at all.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not looking at bishop d3, what are you actually looking at? And I don't mean to sound like how terrible you are. I'm genuinely curious as to what goes on in your head when it comes to finding best moves for our opponent. If after ef rook f5, bishop d3 is not there, then what is?
Yeah, I think it's probably some kind of visualization.
I don't buy into that. You know, and I tell you why I don't buy into that, because
you better make a move, by the way.
Yeah, I did. I tell you why I don't buy into that, because you are a much better player than not being able to visualize that your rook just stepped up into a diagonal of a bishop. Like, you can calculate forcing knights into 5, 6, 7 moves deep. All you needed to see here is a half move. I can't possibly accept that is a visualization issue. What I think it is two things. One, which is going to sound very hurtful, but I'm going to say it because I believe it's somewhat true. It's laziness.
Oh, that's
one thing is that, it's all G. We will just figure it out when we get there. That's one part of the business. Oh, I'm playing with increment. It's all good. The other part, which is the more dominant one, is what I'm beginning to actually relate to, even though I initially was very strongly against it, is Rosson's idea of egoism, although I think I'm misapplying it here slightly, which is just that, I'm fine. I'm black. It's my move. I'm good. I like it. And we stop here with the I like it, my move, my idea, and we don't look beyond at all. Like, okay, this was your idea. I like the rook on f5. I like my f5, but... And what about white? Like, are we actually looking into what they are doing?
Yeah.
I wanted you to find this, but I talked so vehemently that I didn't give a chance. Sorry. Right? Fine. So I think it's actually that kind of egoism where you see a move, you get attached to it for whatever reason, and you can't step out of that attachment through rational means, which is questioning it, testing it out. Right? Because if you did do that, you would inevitably go like, okay, what will white do now? What is the downside of my move? You know, like, we didn't even like you I don't think you actually went into the detail of recognizing that, oh, that's e4 square gone for good.
Yeah, I
Right?
think what happens. I think what happens in my, or what happened in my head there was, I actually did see that the e4 square was now vacated
Pawn
by
or
the
rook. Sorry,
pawn.
let's do this quickly. Make up your mind before I play my move.
Up rook.
I didn't ask you to call it out.
Oh, sorry.
But no, it's pawn. And I tell you why, because after rook,
Again.
bishop g2, queen trade is on, yeah? And there is no mate, whereas now I'm mating. So no matter where the queen went, I had knight e5, bishop moves f3, and I'm mating, unless it goes back to g2. But it's a bit moot point because queen e5 walks into this. Maybe queen e2, knight e5, bishop g2 was playable. But even there, after f3, bishop takes queen, pawn takes queen, he has a hanging bishop and a hanging rook. And this is quite cute, by the way. But this also loses material because after take, the rook is hanging here. What I'm checking is that am I better off by playing queen here? Because then f3 is the only move that doesn't get mated. Nah, I have to make a move, so I'm too lazy to calculate now. I will just play it out. But you see again how easy it is to assume, oh, rook, because we need to bring the rook in. And after bishop g2, you would have either been forced to trade queens or retreat back when the mate attack was not coming. Now, you could argue, nor is it now, true, but now I want even more material than what I was ahead by.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they had taken the knight, I would have taken the rook, and then I'm up a full rook. Whereas
Yeah.
at the time when we took on f4, we were only up a piece. Now, this is hanging, this is hanging. And in fact, the rook can't move in a way that will defend this or
Yeah, you can't go to d3.
attack knight, because when I take this, I'm also defending the knight on b2.
Yeah, so what I was going to say there was, I think after the ef5, I saw that, you know, that would vacate the e4 square for white. But I think when you said it's gone for good, that idea is the one that didn't occur to me.
Yeah,
right?
see, that's
As in that, like
interesting.
the permanence of the
Yeah,
sacrifice of that square, like that wasn't.
That's a very cool comment, because I am more than happy to accept that. See, that's a very interesting take, and I really like that.
The significance of it. That's what it. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I love that. By the way, did you notice that I went for this mate with the rook on g1, allowing this, because if he now defends this, then it becomes a mate. Well, he didn't defend it, but it's mate anyway. So even with limited speed, and this is definitely something that you personally struggle with a lot.
Yes.
I am going after them, opposed to, oh, it's hanging, I got to defend it.
Yeah.
And see, the engine tells me I should have. And I can't care less. I would never change this. Unless there is a brutal blunder here, and you clearly see there isn't. In fact, turns out that my move is now superior. Right? Like, I did not hesitate a second to go after the mate, allowing a check. And I did not consider this to be a time trouble either, by the way. But anyway, yeah, that's a very cool point that you brought up about this f5 shenanigan. That it didn't occur to you the irreversibility of the deed.
Yes.
Right? That e4, I said e4 is gone, but to you it was a temporary measure. Whereas in my mind, I'm like, hello guys, e4 square is like outpost for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And by the way, look at the eval. And look at the eval now. Oh wait, peeps can't see it because now we have gotten access to it because the game is over, obviously. So the big dilemma about the retake, gf is minus 0.7, excuse me. Rook f is plus 0.567, depending on, yeah. Let's ask for a review, because I think the opening was pretty shady. So I'm not expecting better than 90 at best, maybe not even. Oh,
well done pouncing on that free piece.
I will need to ask this guy to be quiet. Okay, so we botched it royally, and I knew that the opening was shady. Yeah, look, that was on my cards too. I forgot to mention this. The 94 idea is always on. I just didn't want to go into this simplification, because as much as this is okay for black, in fact, probably even better slightly, after some c5 ideas, it's not so easy to convert this into a fluid win or an easy demonstrative instructive win with black. It's hard to blunder in those positions with white is what I'm trying to say. So that was okay. Knight b8 was fine. h6. Oh, okay. So I wonder where I went wrong then. I'm genuinely puzzled now. Oh, so actually knight d3 was a mistake here.
Huh.
So maybe I did need to play queen g4 and pursue the attack. Oh, queen h5. Oh, I'm a potato, of course, because then I'm not... Oh, God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, okay. Of course, like queen g3, but queen g4, because then f3 is a tempo. I just pulled back here, and now f3 is unstoppable. Okay, I was a complete potato, but admittedly, here I was a bit little on time, and I was still talking to you, so... But I don't understand the 80. Like, from here on out, I thought I played perfect chess. Like, am I tripping, or what's with the 80? I made one inaccuracy.
One inaccuracy.
In the entire game, and you're giving me an 80? Oh, I'm wait, I'm an idiot. I was looking at the white side. Sorry, I am.
Yeah. You got 94.
I looked at this. It's 94. I'm like, what?
No, you did
not
well.
that it's a matter of prestige or something, but I didn't think I was playing it that badly. Okay, 94. I said 90, so actually it was better than what I thought it was.
Yes.
Right. Well, I think it was quite instructive and interesting to see how her ideas often aligned and more oftenly collided. Did I say oftenly? I did not. More often they collided. Yeah, I do hope that you found it instructive. Obviously, I pulled a dirty on you because I purposely played an opening that I knew that you wouldn't play. But I wanted to test the water on a territory that was more alien to you than familiar.
No, anyway, this is really good. That was very, very, very instructive.
We will thank the viewers for this one. I hope that they liked it too. We'll ask them not to forget to sub, to like, to comment, and follow us just like as they have been. Cheerio.